All right, so now what I'm going to do is do the responsive elements. First thing I want to cover is I actually fixed the background image. I'm an idiot, and I realize now why it wasn't working. So if you look up here, you'll see that I did, I don't control, okay. I did / images background. The reason being is, I don't know what this one, I guess this is it, okay. Let me get rid of that, Command delete. Okay, the reason being is this. Normally, if I'm in here, right, and I had my CSS written inside of my HTML document, it would just be like this one is, images, blah, blah, blah. Images and then the file name, which is fine, but the problem that was happening, that would be, okay, images and then the thing. But if I'm in CSS, there's no images folder right next to it. That only works here. So I actually had to go up a folder, then into the images folder. And that's why it wasn't working, because it was looking for a folder that was not next to it. Okay, there's no folder in here called images. It's actually back out of it. So by doing / images background, I was subsequently able to fix that, which was obviously a lot better. So anyway, that was the first thing I wanted to fix. So now let's just go ahead and do this. So where is it? Okay. So if you look, you can see it's not quite what I wanted. What I wanted to do. For one thing, it's repeating, which I'm not a big fan of. So we're just gonna fix a couple of things with the background image, and go from there. Okay. So tab. We're just gonna make the width 100%, which is kind of obvious anyway, but just to make sure, good. And then we're gonna do tab. We'll just do height, and I'm just gonna do auto so that it's automatically the right size. And then tab, and then we are, so the width 100%, we'll do this. Let me just show you real quick. Command R. It's not doing it now. Hang on a second. Let me, let's take also repeat, background repeat, sorry. And then we're going to do no repeat. I do not want you to repeat. Command S, and, okay, Command R, and let me see. Oh, you know what? Maybe because it's on the bottom. Well, anyway. See, that should be scaling 100%, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, we're going to a couple other items here too. So we're also going to do background size, enter, and we're going to do cover. And what that's going to do is it's going to, and I did that. Okay, so we should be good there. What that's going to do is this, Command R. So what it's going to do is it's going to scale up, but then when it gets to too small of a resolution, it will actually go back to where it should be. Okay, so it will never go, it's not supposed to. Why are you going big? Let's do this real quick. Let's do max width. Max hyphen width. Command S. Command R. Let's see if that fixes it. Alright, well, it'll allow it to cut off anyway, so. Alright, yada yada yada, so we did that. Another thing I want to do is make, I'm just going to go underneath this one, is to make responsive images. So right now, if you were to look at this, you'll notice that that picture, this guy here, is always the same size, no matter how big and small it gets. So what would be nice is if instead what we did is we had to get bigger and smaller depending on the screen resolution. So we're just going to call it we'll call it responsive, and I should put a dot in there. Dot responsive img. And we're just going to go ahead and do what I did the other one, max width. Okay, and we will set that to 100%, which basically means that it's not allowed to get any larger than what the resolution of it is, and then we're just doing height, and we're going to do auto again. Okay. Okay, Command S, and what you're going to see is it's not going to look like anything too great here, but when I get smaller, you can see it doesn't do anything. Isn't that great? Oh, because I got to actually attach it. Hang on a second. So, we're just going to add a class to this and just call it class, and it's going to be responsive hyphen image. Command S. Okay, and Command R, let's see if it works now. Still not doing it. So class responsive img. Okay, let's go over here and let's do responsive image. I think that's right. Hang on a second. That looks good. Let me make sure this is saved and that this is saved and that this is refreshed. It's not really... You know what I think the problem is? That the picture is not bigger. The picture's never getting squashed because it's not that big. Let's try doing this. Instead of 6, let's do 1. Let's see if that will... There you go. See, now it's getting squashed. So when it gets to smaller, you see it automatically shrinks down. The problem was before when I had it set to 6, so this isn't even actually doing anything, Command R, is that it goes to halfway, right? Well, see how big the picture is? This is still it still has enough room to sit in there. And then even when we get to here, this window doesn't go far enough to actually start cutting into it, so it never has to shrink, and that's why it wasn't showing up. But you can kind of see when I switch it to the other one. So if you had a really big picture, that would make it responsive. Okay, so you would just add this class to whatever pictures you wanted that would be that would naturally scale big and small. Okay, now let's do. Oh, here's another thing. So right now what we have is we have our headings and like this. They could probably stand to be a little bit bigger. So what I'm going to do is go to my style here, and we're going to add some headings. So I'm just going to do heading 1. And I'm just going to make it, let's say, bigger than, let's say we'll do 4, font size. We'll do 4 EM. Okay, boom. And then we'll also do one, for my H2s. Okay, I'm at H3 alone and we'll do font size, and we'll do, let's say, 2.5 EM. Okay, and if you remember, that just means it's going to take the letter M, whatever the scale of that is by default, and it's going to be like a multiplier of it. So Command R. So you see they're much bigger now, right? But you'll notice that when I go to shrink it, it doesn't fit nice anymore. They're kind of big, right? So even here, it kind of, that doesn't look good, right? You got this like orphan. So what we want to do is actually have this get smaller depending on the size. So to do that, we're going to do an @media query. So @media only screen and max -width, and we'll set it to, we'll say 600 because I don't think we're going to need, and I need to make sure I don't put my thing in there. Okay, and so we'll just copy both of these, Command C, Command V, and we'll make this one, let's say 2, and we'll make this one, let's say 1.25. So it's a little bit bigger, but it won't be too big. Let's do that, Command R, and now when you go like this, see how it pops down? See how much smaller that is? Although it's not helping me much in this area. So I'm thinking I'm going to change this to 768. 768. So it's the same as the medium size. Command R. Good. Okay. So there's a half a second where it clicks in there. So I could change the number again, but I don't care. It's fine. But you'll notice that they now get smaller. Okay. So that the text automatically knows to make itself not so big. Yay. Okay. That looks pretty good. Now, another thing I might want to do is take an element and maybe make it disappear. So if you look, this is taking up too much space now. It'd be better if this was popped up. So I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this disappear. So kind of the same as we did before. I'm just going to do another @media, @media, if I could spell, media only screen, and we'll say max -width, and we'll do, let's say 600 still, px, boom, and all we're going to do is we're going to do the dot logo, image, logo, logo. We'll just do, well, logo's logo, obviously. So we'll just do logo. We'll call that this CSS rule. And we're just going to say, so at max width, and we're just going to say display, and we're going to say none. Okay. And we'll save that. And I think I did that backwards. So let me just double check. I think it's going to, oh, I got to add it too. So it's logo. So I got to add that class to the logo here. So I already made it responsive. So I'll just go ahead and just write logo in here. So now that also has that class. And, oh, maybe I did do it right. Okay. So now when it gets to this size, it'll pop out. Okay. Yay. Isn't that grand? Because you don't really need that information so much, right? And then maybe what I could do is put a logo in here instead. So we'll kind of do the opposite. And I have a smaller logo. I'll put maybe in between these two, which might be kind of fun. All right. So we'll just do. Let me see. Yeah, we'll put it right after this. So what I'm going to do is, let's see. Let's just add it here. Okay. Command C. I'm just going to put a guy right here. Command V. And we'll make it a responsive image. And we'll call it logo small. And I think cone logo, I already have one called small. Okay, so it's going to, I have another picture in my thing here. Okay, so I have my images, and you'll see that there's the background. So we have cone logo large, and this one's small. And this is considerably smaller than this larger one. Okay, so I'll leave the responsive image on there, but logo small will be the name of this one, and it's going to go there. So I'm just going to save that, and then I'm going to add another class in here, and it's going to be more or less the same thing. So I'm going to copy this, Command C, enter Command V, and what we're going to do is logo small was the name of the class, and this one, instead of max width, is going to be minimum width. And what that means is that when it'll flip it. So it needs to be at least 600 and smaller, and this will run. Otherwise, or minimum, it has to be, yeah. So it'll be the opposite of what I just said. So now if we go ahead and refresh this, you can see it'll pop up, but then web design, boom, and then now this is underneath instead, which is better because the word's almost more important. Like, it's nice to have this logo guy there, but now when I go like this, that one pops up, and then you can continue on, and you can see it's a smaller logo or whatever as well. So you could swap out logos depending on what you want to do. It's also responsive, but I think it's small enough where it's never gonna, yeah, it doesn't cut in enough to actually make that happen. So we'll save that. Yeah, all right. Let's see, is there anything else I wanted to cover? Okay, I think that's good. That's at least all the elements that we did in the thing. Now, obviously this looks like junk, okay? So, but I don't want to spend a lot of time formatting stuff because you should already know how to do that. But you should have enough information between the two to make your stuff responsive, as well as, get out of here. As well as, add some elements where you want to make something disappear at a certain thing, change the font size at a certain size, at a certain width, and also change the rest. Okay, so that should be good, and good luck. Go team.